Hello, my fellow Americans and international friends, and welcome back into the Cal Report. Today is June 11th, 2025. So today I'm heading out to Chino, California to interview candidate for California State Superintendent, Sonja Shaw. Sonja, of course, is the president of the Chino Valley Unified School District Board. So without further ado, let's go to Chino and talk to Sonja. All right, we're with the president of the Chino Valley Unified School District Board, Sonja Shaw, and candidate for California State Superintendent,
Awesome.
Sonja.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thanks for coming on to the podcast. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So some people might say that, jumping from school district board president to running for California State Superintendent is quite a big jump.
Yeah.
Tell us why you decided to run for this position.
I think we need somebody in the driver's seat that's a fighter right now. I mean, I have a proven track record from, going back to 5 years, just standing in front of the board, that we're willing to fight the good fight. We're willing to get in there, and our kids are failing. I mean, everybody that has been in this position has failed our children. They're failing at reading, writing, and math. And we're talking about 47 to 50% of our kids are failing. And when they graduate, they don't even have the tools for success after. And that shows me that the system is designed not to help our kids. We see a generation, going through the school system, the public school system, that hate America. We see it even setting them up to go to a 4-year. They're coming out of the 4-year with no idea on what to do. The education system has failed our kids, and right now we need the change.
So Sonja, I wanted to ask you, why do you think California's public education system has gotten so bad? What do you believe is the root cause?
That could be a very long answer because it's all tied into the unions. And I want to be very clear. We have great teachers that are actually leaving the profession because they want nothing to do with the union push. And when you talk about unions, you're talking about a third-party interest, right? Unions were designed to protect the teachers with their, their work environment. And that's not what's happening. You see the unions getting behind pushing sexual explicit material in the classroom, getting behind bills right now that, expose our kids to more things that have nothing to do with reading, writing, and math. But you're also talking about special interest. That the system right now is making those third parties richer by hurting kids. We even talk about our governor and his wife. They push in these sexual explicit books and they pocket from hurting our children, right? You're talking about Planned Parenthood. You're talking about all these third party businesses and even groups that are profiting off of our children. This is a $119 billion a year business. And we spend $119 billion on average. Yes, I see your eyes. It's absolutely insanity
unbelievable.
For the majority of our kids to come out failing.
Yeah.
Right now, it's because of the system. They're pushing everything except giving the kids the tools. Our kids should not be at 11th grade coming out illiterate. This is insanity. And right now, again, everybody else is pocketing and our children are failing. What does that show you?
Exactly.
And their focus is on the wrong thing.
Right.
We need to put back the focus on reading, writing, math, okay? And then also workforce, right? And we already do a great job as a whole. I still think there's improvement to get our kids into a 4-year if they're 4-year bound. But what about all the technical careers?
Right.
We have the ability to use the money wisely.
Yeah.
We're just giving it to everybody else except for those that have the best interest for our kids.
Exactly, because I love that point because there's a big shortage as far as like what you're talking about. So we need more people to get into that industry and not necessarily be pointed toward college if that's not their calling. They can go for something else.
Absolutely. And if we put the money behind that, and I sit on the Baldy View ROP Commission, that's for the workforce things. If you put your money and you have, we're always trying to find as commissioners and give the support to our superintendent in that position. She does a great job at finding grants, but she is fighting tooth and nail to get those things funded for our kids because the money is so shorted because they're still continuing to give to third parties that don't support these kids. You even see now the book publishers. Most parents are not even aware. They're the ones that are, all the curriculum that's being pushed into our books, your math books, your English books, your history books. These publishers are also designed to be profiting off of these things that have nothing to do with actually helping our students.
Right.
If they were, why are our students still at an alarming rate? It's dropping. I think we're down into we always trend in between 42 and 47 and being worse in the nation.
Right.
But we also almost put more than any other state more per kid into education.
Yeah.
What does that show you? It's a mismanagement of money, but someone is pocketing off of that, right? Someone's pocketing off the failure.
Right.
And that's where I'm like, no, we need to start pushing in. Look, our school district, alongside a few others, very few others, are doing great despite all the noise, despite all the requirements that have nothing to do with education. We need to take that at a state level, and we also need to have the funding. We shouldn't have to be pulling out of our general fund for things that should be already there, funded by the state and federal government, right?
Right.
The state is mismanaging the money. They're making us, they're tying our hands.
Yeah.
And we're still able, if you have the right people in the right seats with the right experts behind those people making decisions, we're still able to drive successful students. And that's what I want to bring statewide.
All right, so what do you plan on doing as soon as you get elected? What are your top priorities?
I love that you asked me that. So first of all, it's to make education great again. I always joke. No. In all seriousness, have the focus. Look, the state superintendent is the spokesperson for the California Department of Ed. And to also design to where the resources are being put into the right places. And that includes making education the focus, right? Reading, writing, math. Kids should not be failing. By 11th grade, we should not know that, half of the kids are failing and they're illiterate. That to me is number one priority. Giving the school districts the tools, but also clearing the noise, clearing all these requirements that have nothing to do with good student outcome, and safety. Safety is a huge thing. Safety can go over every issue that you see right now happening, right? With the shootings, this, that, the other. I really believe in my heart, because we've seen it in our own district, the SROs making great, actually helping funding those things, because districts have to, come in partnership with cities and counties, but also partnering and driving some money from the California Department of Ed for safety. We can all talk about, active shooters, this, that, the other, but if you don't fund the measures and you have people like LA County, the superintendent over there, defunding and getting behind defunding, and the state superintendent right now defunding these things that keep our kids safe, what are we doing?
Exactly.
We're just keeping them sitting ducks. Making education the focus again, and also directing the money to be able to give those resources to the districts, and holding the districts that aren't doing the right thing accountable. But we also need to focus on safety. Look, you see how California elected officials, the majority of them had created this land of lawlessness. But it also is starting from the school system, when you can't even discipline a child for bad behavior. We've gotten to a point where we need to focus back on that. Stop demonizing our SROs and our security guards. Our own district does a very good job. We have an amazing police department, the sheriff department we partner with, because we have a county line and a city line. And also start letting them do their job. Start allowing districts to discipline bad behavior, but giving those kids resources to get back on, coming back into the school. Just like, if someone were to get in trouble on the streets, give them the resources so when you put them back, they do a great job. They have challenges. They have, you give them, things that they can do and become better in school.
Yeah.
Those are my things. And also, one thing I'm very passionate about, get the boys out of the girls' locker rooms, get the girls out of the boys' locker rooms, and get the boys out of the girls' sports. Look, that is a big, giant challenge. When you start eliminating this gender ideology that's being pushed into curriculum into the schools, remember, they legislated that.
Right.
You get rid of a lot of noise, because the only focus can be for education.
Yeah.
It's to save those things. It's all by design.
Absolutely.
You get rid of that, you put the focus back on education, everything starts to fix itself.
Yep.
Because the ones that know that they're trying to push it in, there's going to be consequences. Look, I'm a mother of 2 female athletes. I have seen my daughters pour their heart and soul into their sports. And there's also sports that they wanted to play that they couldn't, because they are girls, right? And they don't have that ability to be able to do that. But at the same token, they're very competitive girls, and they put a lot of hard work. And to be able to have this system designed that can take it away because someone's feelings, that needs to be fixed. And we've been fighting that on the ground. Look, our district, alongside other districts, they're passing that resolution. People might say resolutions don't have teeth, but it shows the public, first of all, the problem, and it also shows their elected officials' stance on things, right? So I authored a Title IX resolution saying that the districts will do everything they can in their power to support the girls in their sports and the safety in their own locker rooms, and not let boys, depending on their feelings, enter into those things. This next election cycle, my goal is not only to take superintendent seat, but it's to get more school board members in there so we can work together as a team and change it. I can't do anything as one single person.
Right.
It takes a team. We knew that from the beginning.
Yeah.
And we're doing a lot on the ground. We're working with the federal department of Education, not the California department. Obviously, most people don't even know. Recently, Newsom, who says it's unfair, Bonta and Thurman just filed a lawsuit on the federal department, right? The Justice, federal Justice Department, on protecting boys in the girls' sports.
Right.
I mean, come on, guys.
I know.
They're doing it out loud.
How crazy does it have to get?
It's common sense. Boys are boys, girls are girls. I will go down to my grave fighting that, because again, you fix that, you fix it all.
Absolutely.
And you're also helping the boys that are being told by adults that they were born in the wrong body. And I won't let that happen on my watch and on the taxpayers' dollar. Like, these kids are being set up to be patients for life. Look, when you're an adult, do what you want to do, but not on our dime.
Exactly.
And not in our own little girls' bathrooms and sports teams. It's wrong.
So, Sonja, for the people that think, oh, California can't be saved, it's too far gone, you're wasting your time trying to fight for us, because there's no use for it. What do you say to them?
I'm glad you asked. So, first of all, for those that say that and are still here, so you're just willing to submit to this insanity,
right?
And you're willing to give our kids on a silver platter,
right,
to the very thing that's causing the harm and destruction of the innocent minds? No, I say you have to fight. You have to fight because our children's future depend on it. But more importantly, we briefly talked about this prior, is whatever happens in California, it goes throughout the nation. We're just a pilot program.
Exactly.
So if we don't stop it here and we don't get everybody, not only in California, to be aware of what's going on, but across the nation, you have the reddest of the red states dealing with these things because they think they have that false sense of security, just like many of us parents did when it comes to living in communities like we do, right? Where we thought we were raising our families with sanity. But at the same token, if we don't stop it, then you're just handing our kids over. And I refuse to do that. Knowing what I know now and seeing how the system has been designed to hurt our families and our children, I would be a coward to walk away from fighting the good fight to protect our kids, and I refuse to do that.
All right, Sonja, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on to the Cal Report.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Let's keep fighting the good fight, linking arms together, and bring back sanity to our education system so our kids can succeed.
Absolutely.
And make common sense common again.
That's it for today. Really appreciate you guys watching my video. As always, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, or please subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate it, guys. That's what's going on in California. Yay. God bless. Take care. And I'll see you all next time.